Have you ever considered this, that your existence did not begin the day you were born, but stretches back to a moment so ancient, so divine, it echoes through eternity? According to Edgar Cayce, often called the most documented psychic in history, your soul was created not by chance, but by design, long before it ever took on physical form. Through over 14,000 trance readings, Cayce uncovered revelations so profound they make the origin myths of human religions seem like distant whispers. His insights, drawn not from imagination but from what he called the Akashic records, the divine archive of every soul's journey, reveal that your existence began in the very mind of God. Imagine this: the Creator, in his infinite wisdom, spoke you into being not as an accident, but as a unique expression of his divine light. Your soul was not made in isolation. Cayce described waves of emanation, massive outpourings of spiritual life where millions of souls were birthed at once, each carrying a spark of God's own consciousness. You were part of one of those sacred waves, and you were not alone. You were created alongside what Cayce called a soul family, other eternal beings whose essence resonates with yours. This is why, even today, you may feel deeply connected to certain people, even without explanation. It's a spiritual kinship that transcends time and space, echoing from the divine thought that birthed you all. But your story doesn't stop there. Cayce revealed something extraordinary: that each soul was designed with a divine pattern, not just free will, not just potential, but the ability to co-create with God. In your original state, you were clothed in spiritual light and filled with creative power beyond what we now consider possible. Thought itself was your language. You could create, communicate, and dwell across dimensions. You were never meant to be confined by material limits. Yet something happened. A divine experiment began, one so daring that many souls became entangled in a world of form, of separation, of spiritual amnesia. Cayce called it the prison of material existence, a place where the soul forgets its origin, forgets its purpose, forgets its creator. But this forgetting is not the end, because even now, your soul remembers. Deep within you lies the echo of that divine beginning, the still, quiet voice that calls you back to truth. You were never meant to stay lost. You were never meant to remain bound. The same God who spoke you into existence is still calling you home. Let this truth sink in. Your existence is not an accident. Your soul carries eternity, and the moment of your creation still vibrates within you, shaping every thought, every emotion, every step you take. You were created on purpose. For purpose, in love, and that changes everything. In your original state, you were not weak, fragile, or limited. You were a reflection of divine glory, a miniature God, bearing within you the creative essence of the universe itself. That lingering sense inside you, the one that whispers, "There's more to me than this," is not delusion. It is soul memory. It is the sacred echo of your true identity, shining through the veil of human experience. According to Edgar Cayce, this isn't fantasy. It's truth remembered. Your longing for something greater, your sense of untapped potential, is your soul recalling its divine origin, where you existed as a radiant being of limitless capacity, clothed in light and filled with creative fire. But why were you created? Cayce revealed something extraordinary. You were never made to worship God from afar, nor to dwell forever in some unchanging celestial realm. No, your existence carries deeper purpose. You were created to be a co-creator with God, a sacred participant in the unfolding of divine experience. Through your individuality, God desired to explore the boundless landscapes of thought, emotion, creativity, and love. You are not some exiled soul hoping to return to heaven. You are heaven embodied. You are God, experiencing life through you, learning, expressing, and evolving through every joy and sorrow, every trial and triumph, every heartbeat of your journey. But this divine story takes a dramatic turn, one that explains why you find yourself in a world of physical form. According to Cayce, the Creator offered every soul what he called the Great Experiment, a holy invitation to explore existence through progressively denser dimensions of matter. From the most ethereal spiritual realms to the tangible world you now inhabit, it was not a fall from grace. It was the beginning of a sacred adventure. God said in essence, "I have given you free will and creative power. Go explore all forms of being. Discover what it means to feel, to choose, to grow. Bring back your experiences so that all of existence may be enriched. And here's the miracle of it all. You said yes. You weren't cast down into flesh. You weren't punished. You volunteered. You chose this journey into form because your soul longed to understand creation from the inside out. You saw the beauty in limitation, the wonder in experience, the glory in discovery. But the Creator also gave a gentle warning. In entering this dense physical world, there was a risk that you might forget, that you might become so entangled in the material realm, so immersed in its sensations and distractions, that you would lose sight of who you truly are, not forever but for a time, and that forgetting was part of the design, because in order to fully live the human experience, you had to let go for a moment of the memory of divinity. Just like an actor loses themselves in a role, you stepped into this world with intention, knowing that the forgetting would make the remembering all the more powerful. This is not a tragedy. It is the essence of your story. According to Cayce, this descent into form did not happen in an instant, but unfolded in stages over eons of time. It was not a fall. It was a descent with purpose, a gradual weaving of spirit into matter, as your soul took on layer after layer of experience to discover what it means to create, to choose, to love even from within the limitations of time and space. And now, even as you walk through this world, you are still on that sacred journey, still learning, still remembering. Souls didn't just jump directly from pure spirit into human bodies. The descent into physical experience was not abrupt, it was a gradual unfolding, a sacred process of experimentation with increasingly dense forms of consciousness. Edgar Cayce described how souls began this journey through what he called thought form projections. These were temporary, ethereal expressions, vehicles that allowed souls to engage with different layers of creation without fully incarnating. In this way, the soul could explore, touch, feel, and understand, all while remaining fully aware of its divine origin. But here's where it becomes absolutely astonishing. According to Cayce, some souls became so captivated by these experiments that they began creating increasingly complex and enduring thought forms. They were no longer just observers, they became artisans of reality. Some souls gave shape to what Cayce described as elemental forms, vehicles of consciousness that could merge with and experience the forces of nature itself: wind, water, fire, and earth. These weren't myths or metaphors. These were real experiences, souls immersing themselves in the language of creation. Other souls took their curiosity further, diving into what Cayce referred to as mineral consciousness. They projected themselves into crystals and precious stones, not as mere observers, but to feel and understand the vibrational roots of physical matter. This is why, Cayce said, certain stones and crystals feel spiritually significant to many. They carry the imprints of souls, perhaps even yours, who once chose to dwell in their essence to explore the mysteries of form. Even more wondrous, Cayce revealed that some souls explored plant consciousness. They lived through trees, flowers, and all living vegetation, not just to witness growth, but to understand the sacred force that animates life itself. This is why being in nature can awaken something holy within you. You're not just admiring beauty, you're reconnecting with a form of consciousness your soul has once known intimately. You're connecting with consciousness that's similar to your own. But then, the story turns both tragic and hopeful. According to Cayce's readings, as souls journeyed deeper into denser expressions of matter, some lost their conscious connection to the divine source. They became what Cayce called earthbound souls, so immersed in physical experience, so enchanted by form, that they forgot they were spiritual beings merely passing through. And it was in this moment, this sacred forgetting, that what we now call reincarnation began. Cayce explained that reincarnation is not punishment for sin, it is a rescue operation, a divine design, lovingly orchestrated by the Creator to help earthbound souls slowly remember who they are, while continuing their exploration of the material realm. Here's something that will stir your spirit. Not all souls became earthbound. Some maintained what Cayce called conscious spiritual connection throughout every phase of material experimentation. These souls remained anchored in divine memory even as they walked among matter. They are the ones we recognize as spiritual teachers, healers, and guides, those rare beings who seem to carry both the wisdom of heaven and the compassion of earth. But here's the most incredible part of Cayce's revelations. These awakened souls volunteered. They didn't need to incarnate, but they chose to for you. According to Cayce, the souls who never forgot their divine essence returned again and again, not for themselves, but for their earthbound brothers and sisters. They came as messengers of remembrance, as voices in the wilderness, as sacred guides pointing the way home. This might explain why certain spiritual teachings or teachers resonate so deeply with you. Cayce taught that you're not absorbing new knowledge, you're remembering. These moments of revelation, of deep spiritual recognition, they're not the result of learning, but of awakening. They are glimpses of your eternal self breaking through the veil of physical amnesia. And now, here is where Cayce's teachings become incredibly empowering. According to his readings, every soul that became earthbound carries within them what he called the return pattern. This divine imprint is not lost. It is an inner spiritual guidance system, intentionally placed within each soul to gently lead them back to conscious awareness of their divine nature, all while preserving the wisdom, growth, and expanded consciousness gained through physical experience. This means your spiritual awakening isn't about striving to become something you're not. It's about remembering what you've always been. Every quiet moment of meditation, every heartfelt prayer, every selfless act of love and service, these are not attempts to reach something outside of you. They are your divine nature awakening from within, pushing through the veil of forgetfulness that physical form brings. Here's something that will transform how you view your relationships. According to Cayce, souls who were created in the same emanation wave, that sacred moment when countless souls were spoken into existence, often choose to incarnate together, lifetime after lifetime. They exchange roles: parent, child, friend, adversary, all to support one another in the sacred task of remembering that person who feels like a soul mirror, that difficult relationship that stretches and refines you. These may be souls from your original creation family, faithfully walking with you through this remembering process. But here's where it gets even more incredible. Cayce taught that as earthbound souls begin to remember their divine nature, they begin to develop what he called bridging consciousness, the ability to function fully in physical reality while maintaining conscious connection to spiritual reality. This is not just a phase of spiritual growth. It is the ultimate purpose of the material world experiment. According to Cayce's readings, souls who achieve this bridging consciousness become what he called completed souls, beings who have moved through every level of existence, from pure spirit to dense matter and then back to spirit, now carrying with them the fullness of all they've experienced. They are no longer bound by illusion or amnesia. They are whole. This may be why you often feel like you're here for a purpose that you can't quite explain. It's not confusion, it's memory stirring. According to Cayce, if you're feeling called to spiritual awakening, it's because you're approaching the completion of your material world experiment and beginning to remember your original divine mission. And here's something that brings tremendous hope. Cayce taught that the current time period on Earth represents what he called the harvest phase, a sacred turning point in cosmic time. A moment where many souls are simultaneously reaching the end of their earthly experiments and waking up to the truth of who they are. This is why, all around the globe, the wave of spiritual awakening seems to be rising. It is not random, it is not coincidence. According to Cayce, we're not in a random period of history. We're in the climactic phase of the greatest spiritual experiment ever undertaken. And many souls, perhaps including you, are ready to graduate from earthbound status to bridging consciousness. But here's the most empowering revelation from Cayce's readings. According to his teachings, achieving bridging consciousness doesn't mean leaving the physical world behind. It means stepping into your role as a fully awakened divine being, one who walks in both realms with purpose, one who lives in physical reality while serving as a living bridge between spirit and matter, guiding other souls who are still in the process of remembering. This is your ultimate destiny, according to Cayce, not to escape the physical world, but to transform it, to let your divine essence radiate through your human experience. You are not here to run from the world. You are here to bless it with the full light of who you are. You are here as a living testimony that divine consciousness can move through individual lives with clarity and purpose, awakening other souls to remember where they truly come from. Every physical challenge you face, each relationship that stretches your heart, every creative endeavor that stirs your spirit, these are not accidents. They are expressions of your divine design, unfolding through earthly experience. From a higher vantage point, nothing in your journey is random or without meaning. And this is what sets Edgar Cayce's revelations apart. Cayce taught that the physical realm is not separate from the spiritual, it is the spiritual made visible through slower, denser vibrations. Mastering life on earth isn't about escaping matter, but about learning how to channel spiritual energy through physical form. That's why some activities leave you spiritually full, while others leave you empty. When your actions align with the divine blueprint of your soul, you are energized. Your spirit recognizes the harmony. But when you move against that design, when your efforts contradict your intuitive knowing, your natural strengths, and your soul's passions, you feel drained and disoriented. These abilities and inclinations aren't just personality traits, they are reflections of the divine imprint within you, rising into your awareness, inviting you to live as your soul was always meant to live. Cayce believed this is how your unique essence contributes to God's cosmic plan. And here is a radical idea that could transform how you approach your spiritual life. While prayer and meditation matter deeply, Cayce emphasized that your greatest spiritual practice is learning to live out your divine nature in the ordinary flow of your day. Every conversation can be sacred. Every creative act can be a form of worship. Every expression of love becomes a doorway back to your original identity. This is what Cayce called practical spirituality, not escaping the material world, but allowing the divine to manifest through it. You were not sent here to escape this life. You were sent to awaken within it, to become a fully conscious vessel of divine truth, walking in human form. This, Cayce said, is the heart of the mystery. The material realm is not something that happened to you. It is something your divine self is continuously shaping. Each moment, each encounter, each obstacle is your soul's way of exploring and expressing facets of God's nature. You are not a victim of earthly reality. You are its co-creator. Just as a painter shapes beauty from color and canvas, you are shaping your world with consciousness and intent. The only difference is this: you forgot you were the artist, but now you are remembering. Every spiritual awakening is your divine self taking the brush back in hand. Each revelation is your eternal identity reclaiming its creative power, no longer shaping unconsciously through amnesia, but consciously through divine awareness. As we bring this reflection to a close, carry this truth with you. You are not a human being reaching for spiritual experiences. You are a spiritual being rediscovering your place in God's great masterpiece. You're a divine being having a temporary human experience, journeying through the greatest adventure ever written into the fabric of existence. You are not here by accident, nor were you ever meant to be small, limited, or powerless. Your soul wasn't created to shrink, it was created to shine. You are a unique and irreplaceable expression of infinite divine creativity, exploring consciousness through the vessel of physical life. And with every breath, every moment of awakening, every step you take, you are returning sacred understanding to the heart of creation itself. Every step of your spiritual awakening is simply you remembering what you've always been. There is nothing broken to fix, no flaw to erase, only memory to reclaim. The arc of your soul's journey from divine origin, through the depths of matter, and now returning to conscious divinity, is not the result of some cosmic error or punishment. It is the most magnificent adventure any consciousness could ever undertake. And according to Edgar Cayce, you chose this path freely. You said yes to this sacred descent, not out of duty, but out of joy. Because your divine nature is inherently creative. It is endlessly curious. And it is deeply courageous. If these words awaken something ancient and sacred within you, if they stir a recognition too deep for language, know this: you are not alone. Many are remembering. Many are rising. Many are returning to the truth they never truly lost. Your soul's journey from divine creation, through material exploration, and now returning to conscious divinity is the greatest story ever told. And in that story, you are both the author and the main character. And here's the piece that passes understanding. You're progressing perfectly. You are exactly where you need to be, in this very moment of your eternal divine unfoldment. Not behind, not late, but divinely timed. You are awakening, you are remembering, and all of heaven rejoices as you return to the truth of who you've always been.